As my social studies high school professor would always say, better late than never, but better never late. It is time to get raw. It is time to get down. It is time for the Raw Down, the number one source for all things WWE right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. I am your host, Young Anthony of the Titantron, and I am joined with my co-host stepping out of the VIP lounge for an appearance here on the Raw Down. It's the MVP, Marco from the Chick Foley Show and Open Mic. Marco, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing superb. Had to rush home on the train to get here to share time with your smiling face.
Okay. Awesome. I love it.
But now we're here, and we're missing J-Bone tonight.
Yeah.
He's feeling under the weather.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the excuse nowadays is...
You know, you could have told me you were going to a Mets game, and I would have believed you. But
yeah,
go, under the weather.
The weather's changing. Oh, I'm getting sick.
The weather outside is frightful. Well, feel better. We'll see you next week, hopefully, because next week is a big episode for us.
Oh my God, jeez.
We're already here. The WrestleMania preview show.
Might have to start at 7 next week.
Oh, man.
To go through this whole card.
You're right.
Unless we just rapid fire. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
And it's all for this. The Raw Down Predictions Championship, which I will retain once again and continue on the longest reign in Raw Down history as your Raw Down champion. But that's for next week. We've got some stuff to get into this week. So what do you say, Marco? Why don't we hop on inside the ring? Oh, wait, no. Let's stay outside the ring.
Yes, let's stay outside the ring.
It's been a week. I don't even know my own intro. It's outside the ropes.
Outside the ropes.
We'll hop in the ring later. That's how this usually works.
Yes.
But we start outside the ropes for now. And we've got some things to discuss. A few contract expirations. A few possible returns in the near future. So let's just jump right in. This is a big one. Or I guess depending on who you ask. You know, a lot of talk in recent months over the last year of contract expirations and, you know, free agents. Where are they going? Are they hopping ship from AEW to WWE or vice versa? And we have our latest free agent on the market, and it's good old Bill. Yes, Bill Goldberg is officially a free agent. No longer under contract with WWE. His contract recently expired, and it's free. It's free game. It's fair game. Anyone can get Bill Goldberg if they wish, including Tony Khan. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see Bill Goldberg any universe signing with a company like AEW? Fire away.
Impact, maybe.
Impact.
Awesome. If he, I mean, it depends on, how they want to use him. And
you missed the boat on that about 12 years, maybe.
That is true. I seen a post someone from Impact. Actually, I think it was like Jordan Grace. She had a picture with Goldberg. And she said trying to convince him to sign to Impact or some shit like that. I don't think he'd sign to anyone personally. I think he's probably just not. I think there's a reason why. I mean, there's probably a couple of reasons why. One rumor is Triple H is not a big legacy act guy.
Yeah,
we'll say. So he kind of like let the contract expire. Apparently, that's one of the rumors. The other one's he's old. He probably doesn't want to.
Goldberg.
I know Tony Khan made a statement.
That's a shirt.
All right, there you go. Chad Sneed, get on it. But yeah, I guess they asked him about it. And he, said, "Hey, I know Goldberg's contract expired. And, he didn't say anything about signing him, anything like that. But he has to give his 2 cents on the matter. But will we see Goldberg walk into AEW?
No,
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think so. There's nothing for me, for Goldberg. There's nothing there for him to sink his teeth into.
There's no spot for him on
No,
AEW. Now,
no.
are there dream matches that I would absolutely watch? Like, Goldberg versus Sting one more time.
Yep.
Or Goldberg versus Wardlow.
Yep.
Goldberg versus Hobbs. Would I be into that? Absolutely.
Or Jericho. That's another one. That's another old feud.
That's a fun
From
one.
back in the day. So they could, bring that back up again. But
Yes, there are dream matches, but is there a spot for these type of matches? Absolutely not.
no.
I'm going to talk about it on the Titantron episode coming out either tomorrow or Saturday, to be continued. But I have gone on record to praise this episode of Dynamite as one of the better storytelling episodes
Yeah.
in recent memory. And even the build up to Revolution, like there was a lot of, I really think AEW has hit a new high with their stories and just their overall programming. And a huge part of that is because you're starting to see them invest a lot more in their guys, in their future guys that they have.
Yep. Which
Your Orange Cassidys, your Ricky Starks, which you absolutely should.
Yep.
So, yeah, you could bring in someone like Goldberg to enhance your roster a bit, have someone to put over the young talent.
Get some eyes on the product.
There are so many other people that fit that role. There's no need for it to be him. Would I be mad to see it just to see the internet reaction? Obviously that'll be a fun one.
I'd be curious to see what the AEW fans would think of a Goldberg showing up. Probably not like, will they? I don't know. Will they accept it? Probably not.
Probably not. I just don't feel like there's a place in any company outside of, I was going to say WWE, but is there even a place for him in WWE at this point?
No.
I think you've gotten everything that you could have out of Goldberg.
Yeah.
All the matches that you needed to do, you did your Brock, your Bobby, your Drew. You did everything that you needed to do. Did he get a proper send-off? Should he have gotten a proper send-off? What was his last match? Was it the Bobby match? No. It was Reigns.
Yeah, it was one of the Reigns. Yeah, for
you did a match with Reigns.
Yeah.
Did he deserve a proper retirement match? That's another question to be asked. But I don't think a proper retirement match or a retirement run, for that matter, should happen in AEW. Obviously,
no. Probably not. And now, even when Stone Cold, when he retired the first time, I still don't consider that match last year as like an actual match. It was more like a fight or a brawl or whatever. But his last match with The Rock, no one knew he was retiring.
Yeah,
that was it was between him and The Rock, essentially. This is gonna be my last match, and I'm heading off into the sunset. That could have been something with him and Reigns. If you are gonna go out, did he choke him out? Right? Did he choke out Goldberg? I believe he put him in the guillotine choke.
Yes, I believe so.
He just passed out. I don't think he tapped out. So that's, if any, that's a perfect send. Not a perfect send off, but that's a send off nonetheless. You lost to the arguably, as we'll talk about later, the mega star that he is right now, Roman Reigns. And he didn't tap out. Roman Reigns had to use all his might to make him, pass out. And that could be it. That could be the last match in WWE. And that's not a bad shield to go out on. It's fucking Roman Reigns, arguably.
It was in Saudi Arabia too, and we all know that he's their megastar.
Yeah, that's the only people that are gonna suffer right now are the fans in Saudi Arabia, because
he's retiring in his hometown. Who wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah, no, right?
Hometown hero, Bill Goldberg.
That's great.
No, but obviously, what would be great is, and I'm sure he would absolutely do it, Tony Khan, of bringing out Gilbert Even if it was on like an episode of Dark or Elevation or some shit like that, just bring out Gilbert for a moment. He would absolutely do that.
He would do that, or he'd do like the like how he did with Sasha Banks with all the weird the Easter egg catchphrases in the middle, like
right, and then
he'll say, "So you want to know who's next?" People think, "Oh my God, Goldberg's coming!" Or some, yeah,
that's funny.
Some stupid crap like that. But yeah, I don't see, like you said, storylines right now with AEW. I don't see Goldberg showing up at all. I think that, like you said, that was probably one of the best AEW dynamites in like recent memory, from top to bottom, especially obviously the main event that it did last night, and even the week before with the 4 Pillars promo. Like you can definitely tell they're focusing on their main people. We've been saying this since the inception, but obviously, not to make this an AEW podcast, you have to start off somewhere. You have your Chris Jericho as the main champion. Everyone knows Chris Jericho, so that gets you kind of like the launch pad there. Your second champion, Moxley. People know who Moxley is, because he recently left and stuff like that. So like, it makes sense that they didn't really use the talent as main event now, but now it's the time because those guys are pretty much not on their way out, but they serve their purpose anyway. And now you're focusing on the newer guys coming up. So
good points.
Yeah.
Well, until then, we're gonna move on. Get back on WWE. And WrestleMania is always about big, rumors, speculation, who's going to be in the town, who's going to be in the area. And we have a new rumor. Apparently, a certain Viper is going to be in LA around WrestleMania.
Yep.
Randy Orton, a guy who we haven't seen in about close to a year now. Right? It's been around. I think in May it's going to be. Excuse me. I think in May it's going to be roughly a year.
Yeah. Yep. I was going to say around the summer, before summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then making an exit. Yeah.
So Randy Orton looks like he might be on his way to a return. Maybe he won't be a full return right away. Maybe he's still, because I know that he was. I saw all the news about him that he was still, recovering and all of this. There was even speculation that he would never wrestle again. That would be it. But now with him being in LA, it begs the question, will we see him at WrestleMania? If he were to be at WrestleMania, not to say that he is, where would you put him on the card? Where is a spot for Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
I mean, Bobby Lashley, probably, if that was the case. I mean, since Bobby Lashley doesn't have an opponent, I mean, that'd be a huge pop right there if Bobby Lashley just walks out to the middle of the ring and he's like, does his little promo and then, I'll take anyone back there. And then you hear, I have voices. People would go nuts.
What I would love them to, I don't think they've ever done this before, but a match completely just not announced, not hyped, just like not even like an open challenge type thing. Like, could you imagine if let's say they could start it at, start a Mania or do whatever, it may be, but, we don't hear from Bobby Lashley much in the build up to Mania.
Yep.
Maybe a promo or something, but he just makes his entrance at Mania. Commentators are like, Bobby Lashley wasn't confirmed for a match. We don't know what he's doing out here. He just walks out to the ring, stands in the ring, and he's just ready for his opponent. And Orton's music just hits. There's no talk about it. There's no confrontation. It's just Bobby comes out, Orton comes out, ring the bell.
Huge pop.
That'd be and they've never done that before. It's always like, even if it's like an open challenge, like it's always somewhat announced or teased. Like, this is something that isn't teased whatsoever. It's not announced. It's just this guy comes out, this guy comes out. It's a WrestleMania match, and it's with two of your biggest stars.
Yeah.
That would be a
Just unannounced.
humongous reaction.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, they tried to do it last year, but obviously with Seth Rollins and Cody
Oh
Rhodes,
yeah.
but
Well,
I mean, that was a given. But
too much story and
yeah,
rumors and speculation.
too much rumors, people reading. And like I said, this time around, like I wouldn't even have known about the Randy Orton thing unless I was scrolling through Instagram, not really much on the Twitter machine as much. But I ended up seeing that in one of one of those since you follow this, you may follow that. Like so they showed that and I was like, well, Randy Orton might be coming back. So right now, not much rumors and things are happening. So could be a surprise. He could show up at Mania, but I'm thinking it's going to be after, if anything. We'll probably
Who
talk
knows?
about it too. The Raw after Mania. Yeah.
As far as a spot for Orton, I don't think we'll get a match. But I mean, there's a certain guy who still doesn't have a specific match at Mania yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. LA Knight. That's enough. I mean, it's a possibility.
I don't see. I mean, I could see Stone Cold coming out and doing like the promo with him, like what? Yeah, what? Yeah. Going back and forth. But if they want to reintroduce Orton to, like kind of stake. What am I trying to say? State that he's back in ring, going to be an in-ring competitor. You could go ahead and just have, LA Knight come out like, this is ridiculous. LA isn't on the card, yada, yada, yada. And then Orton comes out and Orton just beats him up. That's another thing that you can do. I think there's some room for Orton at Mania. I just don't think a match is there for him.
And
probably more a moment.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, it's probably going to be LA Knight and Bobby Lashley at Mania. Since he's trying to get in and Bobby Lashley's trying to get in. Yeah, something might happen on SmackDown where they cross paths or something.
Yeah. That could honestly be it. It's just LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, quick build up, do the match. Bobby wins. LA Knight cuts a promo after. Orton comes out, RKO. I'd be cool with that. I
mean, if they do that, do you think if they go with the Bobby Lashley LA Knight, does Bray Wyatt come up at all, you think?
No. I don't think. I think they're holding out on Bray for the physical, whatever he's dealing with right now. But I also think it's also playing into let's use this time wisely and reassess what we're doing. To an extent. I don't think that's the reason why he's out.
Yeah.
Not whatsoever. But I think if they were smart, which they are, they should be using this time to be like, okay, we ended this story when Bray left in a spot where Uncle Howdy is doing something with Bray, but no one really understands it. This is getting too complicated. Now that you're out on the shelf, let's figure out a way how to kind of tie this loose end so that when you come back, you're right back in the mix of things and people get what's going on.
Why don't you just face Uncle Howdy since Uncle Howdy attacked him? Why don't they just have that match? They could do that.
You could do a lot of things with Bray Wyatt. I've stated here many times that I don't like what's going on with him, and I still don't like what's going on. Apparently, someone caught that there was a Bray Wyatt logo in the background on Raw. I saw there was a T-shirt with his logo on it, something like, I don't know. Someone caught it on Twitter. So I don't think there will be anything at Mania for him, which sucks that he's going to miss another Mania. But honestly, it's probably for the better. Unless they're just going to continue this story and it's still a part of this big, long-term story that just no one is aware of, I do think that they'll use this time to kind of be like, all right, let's kind of get things back on track.
Be crazy to be some mind game thing where He just shows up at Mania and faces Bobby Lashley. How crazy would that be?
That would be
Bobby
good.
Lashley's in the ring and he's just like, that punk Bray Wyatt didn't want to face me, blah, blah, blah. And then the lights go out and you see the doorway. And that'd actually be pretty sick if that happened. But that's not. That'd be too cool for WWE to do.
I really just wanted to see Bray's entrance. Apparently, Code Orange was going to play him out.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. As much as I think that they'll hold him off, there's part of me that really wants to see him at Mania.
Yeah.
But I just don't think there's a spot anymore. Like, it's been 2 weeks and they've done nothing with Bobby and Bray.
Yeah. And you see, like, the card's already pretty much filled. We'll talk about that, obviously, the matches that were announced.
Yes.
So far.
We'll talk about that in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Bobby. You're off the card this time around.
I don't think so. I think they'll still find a match for Bobby.
Try to insert yourself in that Beast versus Giant match somehow.
Honestly, just go right ahead.
Yeah, just make it a triple threat and come out and attack something, do something crazy.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate them throwing Bobby. I don't hate Brock versus Omos.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. As they're going about it and hyping it up, it's like I think people just make it. I think it's more or less like a thing for Brock Lesnar. Like, oh, you're demeaning Brock Lesnar. Why is he facing Omos? Blah, blah, blah. It's like another guy. Nothing really left for Brock Lesnar to do, and
right
in the WWE, like, what else has he? Like, what does he have to accomplish now? It's like
he's at that point where he's got to start putting over the young talent.
And like he's the attraction guy.
Yeah,
he's gonna come back maybe next year, next Mania, and have a match with somebody, and he doesn't have to do that full schedule anymore. So,
let's not forget, Omos is 28 years old. Brock is 40 something.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure not to make this comparison whatsoever, because I know my comparisons can get a little crazy here on this show, but The Undertaker was 27 years old when the streak started. Omos is 28 years old. I know, who knows if Omos is going to be wrestling as long as The Undertaker. Probably not. But just saying, one of the most intimidating figures of all time started around the same age that Omos is at right now. This is your time when you start building new people. So
they do have they have a pretty young roster right now. If you think about it. Yeah. So it is, like you said, it is the perfect time to start, building these individuals up. So yeah, no, I see. Will he lose or I'm if they are trying to build him up, I'm assuming it's going to be some type of disqualification or something like that. I don't think it's going to be like a clean win or anything like that. For Brock anyway, he might cheat his way out or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think you're right. It's like the prime time to get him going. He has a marquee match.
Yeah,
the marquee person. If
we'll talk more about this next week, but I do think Brock is going to end up winning here. But I think it'll have a positive on Omos, which I think is the most important thing. So we'll talk about that next week when the title's on the line.
Yeah.
I don't like to give my predictions when there's no gold on the line, unfortunately. So I'll be holding off all my thoughts until then.
All right. Fair enough.
One more thing for Outside the Ropes. We're just zooming through this episode tonight. We want to make sure that Honor Society has enough time. So
yes,
we'll zoom through this. Another Hall of Fame inductee has been announced.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman.
Who I'm surprised. I was actually going back. I thought he was actually already inducted into the Hall of Fame for some reason, but no. This is it. I'm not sure what they can. I'm not sure what they're going to show as far as the stuff he did back in the day.
It'll all be just pictures.
When he was the intergender wrestling champion, he was wrestling women and stuff like that, and it was pretty funny. If you definitely go back, I know he's way before a lot of our time. Andy Kaufman, but yeah, definitely look him up if you don't know who he is. Obviously made famous. Well, he wasn't made famous off of Jerry Lawler, but Jerry Lawler, got famous off of Andy Kaufman and their rivalry in old Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, that's a little Easter egg for you. That's Andy Kaufman's impression of people in Memphis. It's hilarious. Definitely go or watch Man on the Moon, the Jim Carrey movie, and they do a great job of
watch that.
Yeah, they do a great job of that's a big part of the movie is Jerry Lawler, and he's actually in the movie, so
yeah,
pretty cool.
I did a classic match classroom on Kaufman versus Lawler. It's
nice.
It was such an interesting episode. It makes me a little surprised that he's getting inducted even with this, all the things that he did in his time in wrestling. It's very, not very 2023.
I mean, yes, there's that, and then there's
which is not to say it's bad. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but for now it would be bad.
Shocked me a little.
The stuff that you watch now is if you watch what he did in wrestling now, you're like, what the hell? Even back then it was this is insane. But then you fast forward, you get MJF throwing liquor on a child. So
yeah,
he's pretty much. If you want, he's a little bit more extreme than Andy Kaufman was back in the day. That's what I'm waiting for is MJF to get involved with a celebrity or something like that. That'll be pretty entertaining. But yeah, that Tonight Show, was it Tonight Show? No, it was Late Night with David. They were on David Letterman, right? When
yes,
Lawler slapped the shit out of Kaufman. So and people didn't know obviously. Spoiler alert, they planned all that shit out. If you haven't seen the movie or did your research, but it looked real. It was they didn't know what the hell to do. They were the only two that knew that was happening. No one else knew. Andy Kaufman's manager didn't know. Jerry Lawler's people didn't know. They just went out there and said, let's go for it. It was yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like I said, do your research. I'm not gonna go over all the stuff that Andy Kaufman did because trying to say PC over here. His comedy was a little out there, we'll say. But actually, you know what? He was a comedian. I'd call him he was a performance artist. He lived legit his gimmick. Whatever gimmick he woke up one day, it was I'm gonna do that. That's what he was doing all day.
Yep.
Or for a week or for a month. He lived whatever he was gonna do. So
method. Yeah. This was definitely a Triple H call, I could tell, too.
Yeah, just being a student of the game, no pun intended. Yeah, you could definitely, Lawler to get him back in as well.
Even though we kind of mentioned before that Triple H isn't, on board for the whole legacy acts, with Goldberg and all of that. If there's one thing that Triple H has done perfectly, I can't even say this that well because I'm 21 years old, but he has been able to kind of tie back a lot of the history of pro wrestling that wasn't really talked about for a long period of time. Yeah. It was kind of it was there, but it wasn't really addressed. And it was all good stuff, Harley Race, the lineage of the United States Championship.
Yep.
Now Andy Kaufman, all this type of stuff that I think he's been putting more on the forefront of programming, kind of tying it back to that type of history, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. And even we'll talk about this later with the Dusty Rhodes. Even he wasn't really talked about for the length of time that Cody wasn't there. They really didn't give Dusty his, obviously with the NXT stuff, but as far as his in-ring stuff, wasn't really spoken about.
Yeah.
He wasn't really brought up that whole tenure that Cody was now with the WWE. And then obviously Cody's back now and you have all the Dusty merchandise flying around. He's getting mentioned a lot more and things like that. And that's like you said, I'm kind of glad Triple H is in power in that sense. Where you get that you get that history stuff because, like you said, it's there. It's just not spoken about,
Right.
which is
And it could be. It's all, important stuff.
it's
That's
not just
everywhere it goes.
wrestling isn't Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. It is. That's a part of it, but there's
It
way
is.
more. There's way more things that happen
Yeah.
in the world of wrestling than slamming that stinky giant and all that stupid stuff.
The 800-pound giant. I tore 1,500 muscles in my back, dude.
Oh my
Such a
god.
clown. Anyways. Well, that's all I got for Outside the Ropes. Now it's time
Yep.
to wipe our feet and step on inside the ring for collar and elbow.
Collar and elbow.
It's the collar and it's also the elbow. We're going to talk about stuff that happens more centered on inside the ring.
Oh yeah.
All the action. We're going to kick things off by kind of just addressing and speaking on all of the new WrestleMania matches that were confirmed since Friday, I guess, from Friday to Monday, because we got a good amount of them announced, and definitely some ones that are worth talking about as I pull up the ever beloved list of WrestleMania matches via Wikipedia. Here it is. All right. So brand new matches that were confirmed in recent days. First and foremost is obviously the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. We're getting it. It's confirmed. The Usos are defending their titles against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What are your thoughts? Are you pleased with this match? And where do you see this placed on the card?
Based off one rumor that I seen, it looks like, obviously rumor, Charlotte and Rhea supposedly main eventing night one. Like I said, it's a rumor right now. Who knows?
I expect that, honestly.
Yeah, it's either that or Usos and KO. Usos, KO, Sammy. That could definitely main event either night, but obviously we know the main event for night two already.
Brock and Omos.
That could main event. We've seen. We've called it.
Night two, Brock and Omos.
Why not?
Why not?
Co-main event with Cody and Roman.
Hell yeah.
But we've been talking about this for like the past few months. I think we pretty much all called it, but some of us didn't want it to happen. Some of us knew it was going to happen. I think I've been calling that it was going to be a tag team match, since the beginning. But I'm excited for it. I'm intrigued to see how it ends. If they end the Usos' historic reign, or do they continue on? Because I don't want to give too much away, but I have my thoughts and theories on that match as well as part of my prediction on who's going to win. Because this all continues with the storyline. It doesn't, it's the aftermath. I'm calling this like the aftermath storyline. So after WrestleMania happens, April 3rd, which we'll talk about again because that was thrown around a lot on Monday. Going forward, that's when we'll see the aftermath of the bloodline.
Obviously, story-wise, this match deserves to main event night one. I think that's the general consensus among all wrestling fans. However, it's probably going to be Rhea and Charlotte.
Yep.
The women didn't main event either night last year.
Yeah.
So, that's also something to consider.
Yep.
B, Kevin Owens technically main evented last year. So it's like, do you have a main event 2 night ones in a row? Are they really thinking that deep about it? Maybe, but it's things to consider.
Yeah.
Surely. However, C, if they don't main event this will be another case of Shawn and Taker, WrestleMania 25, where the best match on the entire show probably is stuck in the mid card. And Maybe that makes it stand out. Who knows? But I do think that this match is primed to be the match to beat. Like the match to top. There's so much put into this match that, yeah, it's going to be a great in-ring match. I think that goes without saying, like automatic 4 stars, but it's going to be the story.
Yeah.
That's really going to take it up another level. And that's what I can't wait for.
Yeah.
Obviously had a lot of different opinions on which match should have been happening at WrestleMania. You know, where are we going with this? The way that they have built up Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn into WrestleMania has been perfect.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we'll talk about it later, but the way Cody and Roman is built, I definitely don't see Sammy Roman. That's like not even a factor right now as far as a potential Mania match. Just the way they built this masterclass of promos that they've had with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a distant memory right now. The
Right.
Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns angle that they were pulling.
And that was the important thing. It was like you needed to make sure that you can completely divert the attention away from Sami Zayn, but keep him hot so that he can go into that thing with the Usos and make it make sense.
Yep.
That was my biggest concern. And that was their biggest goal. And they achieved it. And I think that's what makes this perfect. Is you were able to tell the story with Roman Reigns, but then you were able to show that there was a grander story, which is what we've discussed, but it was something that I didn't really want to come to terms with because I figured Roman and Sami is where we're heading to, but that's not the case.
Yeah, it's really really Roman. It's really Sami and Jay. They're the that's the real beef in the bloodline. Like Roman was kind of not that he was like the pawn or like just a piece that they threw in there. Obviously, he's the leader of the bloodline, and that kind of diverted it. But the whole time, when you really think about it, it was really Jay and Jay. He said it. I never liked you. I never wanted you in this. Blah blah. Reiterated that, and it it's they did it really perfect. Like I said, it's not that it was a waste of Roman and Sami that match happening, but it was a good diversion and then bringing it back to Jay and Sami, which was kind of like the feud that was happening within the bloodline that never really blew off until obviously now.
I don't normally admit when I'm nervous when it comes to this show.
Okay.
But I'm nervous about predicting this WrestleMania because
I think I'm set in my ways. I think I know what's happening. I think
I don't know what's
not the whole card, but as far as we'll say the bloodline oriented matches, I think I have.
No, I'm the exact
opposite. I have my own
bloodline
storyline.
Is where I'm stumped.
Well, I think I made up this whole storyline in my head, which probably isn't going to even happen, but I can't say anything until next week. But
we'll make movies.
Yeah, so
it's movies in your head.
So what I did was, because like I said, April 3rd was a big thing. I'm predicting off of April 3rd. I'm predicting off of the Raw after Mania.
Okay.
And then I'm going backwards. So I'm switching them. I'm switching those matches around. I'm seeing, the outcome of this. How would this happen? That doesn't make sense. And then playing with it. But I think I'm set on what's going to happen. We'll see, though.
All right. I don't know.
It is scary. Like I said, I could be wrong a little bit. I'm just going to go for it. And maybe all three of us, when we make our predictions, it's going to be a wild card prediction anyway, because we have no clue right now.
Definitely no ties on this one. I think this is going to be a definitive winner for this predictions title.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a testament to how good the booking's been going into this Mania. Like Sami, KO, Usos, Cody, Roman. You don't know where this is going to go.
Yep.
I think that's the beauty of it. That's where your greatest stories are told, are ones where it could go either way, and it makes sense for it to go either way.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. 2 more matches to talk about on the Mania card, and I'm very interested to see your take on these. The men's and women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team matches. On the men's side, Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. And on the women's side, it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus 3 other teams. What are your thoughts?
And these matches are for whoever wins gets a.
Nope.
I thought they mentioned that.
Mm-mm.
There's no title shot at all, or
It's just a showcase match.
so they pretty much got rid of I'm assuming the Andre the Giant, unless they still do it next week. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
And they're replacing it with this. If there was a prize for like a a tag title shot or something like that, I'm all for it. But I mean, these are kind of just throwaway matches to me.
You know, I really, really like this, and I'll tell you why. And I think it's the fact that there isn't a prize to this is why I enjoy this. Because what have we been complaining about this entire time of, the build up to Mania, or even just in general, was the fact that a Mania spot should be important.
Yep.
Not everyone gets
True.
a Mania spot.
Yep.
So I think when you're talking about a prize or something to win here, I think the prize is just being on WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
okay.
awesome. That's what we've been talking about, making your spot worthy. So when you're talking about a WrestleMania showcase, like, they really hyped up, and I think there was a lot of buzz on Twitter about how Liv Morgan was getting a spot at WrestleMania. That was the kind of overall feel on Twitter. Liv Morgan's getting a match at WrestleMania because obviously she doesn't fit into the Raw or the SmackDown women's title picture. Yeah. So everyone was very excited for her that she's going to be on the card. I'm totally on board for that. Yeah, because it allows talent who have been grinding to be on the card. I mean, I think it's so funny. We had that whole conversation about Chad Gable, and we were saying he's a guy that should be on the card of WrestleMania, but because they booked him in a certain way, there isn't a spot for him. Here he is.
Yeah, now there is. Yeah,
a showcase match at WrestleMania. So, me personally, a lot of people have been kind of just being like, oh, whatever. It's, just it's weird that there's no title shot. Why aren't the women's tag titles on the line? This solves a lot of issues that a lot of people have been having. There doesn't need to be a rivalry. There doesn't need to be a title. There doesn't need to be an opportunity.
Yep.
It's just 4 great teams for the men's, 4 great teams for the women. And they're just gonna go off.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool because it does showcase, not no pun intended, but the teams that are representative of those brands. So you have Ricochet and Braun Strowman and the Viking Raiders from SmackDown, and then Chad Gable, Otis, and the Street Profits from Raw. So you get technically is a showcase. You get the I'm assuming they're gonna show. It's going to show all their abilities, what each team does, and all that type of stuff. I think it's the women's tag team match, and I'm not too thrilled about because they're really not like tag teams. Essentially,
it's going to be a bunch of throwaways.
People thrown together and all that.
And
stuff.
I think also it comes down to like these are 4 of. I'm speaking on the men's side of things here. These are 4 teams that have earned a WrestleMania spot.
Yeah.
Like, as much as people are like, why are Braun and Ricochet a team?
I enjoy it.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And they've also been at the forefront for a lot of these stories in the last couple of months with Gunther and, being involved in all these different tournaments that they're doing. Didn't they even fight? Did they fight the Usos for the titles at one point?
Yeah,
They got a tag team shot. So they're a prime tag team. Street Profits. They've always been in the mix of things, and now
Yeah.
we're looking to even split them apart, perhaps. So
Yeah.
this is a good showcase for them. Alpha Academy, don't even need to say anymore. They've
Yeah.
been involved in a ton of stories, a ton of great moments, the most comedic tag team. And the Viking Raiders, they're the one team that I'm like, okay, maybe not. Again, it's a showcase. It's showing you
Yeah.
the type of teams that, introducing those teams to a much grander audience.
Yep.
So it kind of gives you an idea of who you should expect to see more of in the future, which is why I'm also okay with the women's side of things. It's like, it doesn't really matter if it's makeshift teams or whatever. It's 8 women that you are going to want to turn your attention to
Yeah.
after Mania.
It's a good
kind of what
point.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
You're going to be able to see, you're going to be able to see them, even though they're not real tag teams, you get to see them showcase their abilities
Right.
and what they're all about. And like we said, just being on the card, whether it's a main event spot or whatever, should just be that. It's just like you're at WrestleMania. Like there are going to be still people that aren't going to be able to be a part of it, namely Bobby Lashley. But so maybe he'll interrupt that match. Who knows? He'll just show up in the showcase match and just freaking destroy everybody.
Just pull a Braun when he returned and just beat up all the tag team
Yeah,
guys.
just squash everybody. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like the idea. Now that you explained it that way, at first I was just like, meh. I didn't hate it. I was just like, just filling in more time. And, I thought it was going to be a little bit shorter each night. But do you think they'll be on each night? Like one showcase one night?
Oh,
each
yeah.
Showcase another night?
I think it has to be. One more point, and then we can move on, is I think it's better that they don't have a tag team title opportunity on the line for this as well, especially for the women, because this is a women's showcase match. You're not expected to keep these women as tag teams. It's not like, Natalya and Shotzi are going to be teams going forward.
Yep.
This is just we're a team for tonight so we can showcase our talents type of thing. So, although it may be more of a tag team thing for the men's, and it begs the question, did you really need a whole tag team thing for the women's side of things? I think it's still just a good way to get people on the card who are worthy of it and not have it be 30 people in a battle royal that means nothing. So that's
Makes
kind of my
sense.
thoughts on that.
I like it.
Some more stuff that we could talk about. So you brought this up to me. I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently there is a supposed huge return for the Raw after WrestleMania. Do you want to speak more on that? And I guess who do you feel will be this big return?
I mean, rumors are, Triple H is planning for this Raw after Mania to be like one of the biggest Raw after Manias in recent memory, as far as returns and we'll say probably acquisitions. I'm assuming.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, we don't know the situation. We don't know any business dealings, no signings, nothing like that. But when FTR announces that if we can't beat you, we're leaving. I mean, that might be the imagine the crowd if FTR walks out on Monday night.
That would be
So I mean,
that's their second Raw after Mania debut. So I'd be on board.
That could be. That's only person. Those only individuals I can think of that would make a huge splash for a Raw after Mania or like a huge thing. But I can't think of anyone else. I mean, unless Mandy Rose, they hire her back, that'd be pretty big if that happens. But I don't think that's happening at all. But I'm like I said, depending on when's that match happening?
They didn't give a date.
Well,
if
they happen to go before, if it's like the week before, if it's like next week on Dynamite, then I think they're gone.
If they want that to happen, or if it does happen, that FTR Guns match is going to have to be next week.
Because we don't know if they signed. They didn't even say they re-signed any contracts. They just showed up on at Revolution. That was it. They didn't. I didn't read. I mean, I didn't see anything in the rumor saying they signed a multi-year deal or they're back with the company. Nothing. They might have done a Cody, and Cody was just wrestling without a contract for his last before he ended up leaving. That Sammy Guevara match where he burned himself alive didn't have a contract, was he? I'm not sure if he was getting paid, but he didn't re-sign at that point. He just went out there and did the match. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I'm pretty set that FTR is staying in AEW.
Yeah.
However, if the match happens next week, then yeah, I think
Huge announcement from Tony Khan, the FTR.
But it's just I don't know if that would ever happen. Like,
yeah,
do you do the match and allow I don't know. I don't know how this will go. But I do think FTR is staying in AEW. As far as returns that I could see at this Raw after Mania,
probably Orton, I'm assuming.
Probably
if he doesn't
Orton,
show up at Mania.
The loser of the main event of Stand and Deliver, either Mello or Braun, will be up on the main roster.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Goldberg. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you.
CM Punk.
CM Punk. I haven't taken a look at those the stories that he posted yet. Punk. That long.
I read through that whole thing. It's pretty funny. It's if you read it in Punk's voice, it's hilarious.
Something about Jericho, apparently.
Yeah, he shit on everybody like Jericho, Tony Khan. They're all liars, and yeah, he went a little crazy on that.
So does that mean he's coming back?
Probably. I mean, it's a swerve. It's always a swerve. They're working us right now, but now he got to shit on Moxley.
Just bring him back.
He talked about Moxley not wanting to lose to him during their match and stuff like that, and him saying that's the first time he's ever encountered that with anyone. And then it was a whole long thing. But yeah.
Okay.
Probably not coming back, I'm gonna say.
Who knows? They put a table in front of his picture. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, they covered his face. Yeah. He was really answering back to Meltzer, and Meltzer's some shit that Meltzer put out. He's just responding back to that. But he ended up shit on everybody at the same time.
Before we because I'm pretty much good on topics to discuss. I don't think we missed anything else. Let's just do a quick recap of Raw and SmackDown. So we'll start with
SmackDown sucks.
Start with SmackDown. What were your overall thoughts of the show? Anything stand out to you? Give me your thoughts on SmackDown.
I mean, the huge pop. We kind of talked about this in the chat. The hug.
Yep.
And you know what? We get it again. IWC. The hug cannot happen at fucking WrestleMania. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. People going, they should have saved that embrace at Mania.
What is this, Elizabeth and Savage? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. No, you do it now.
If anything, you let them win the titles at Mania.
Yeah, you should have waited for them to hug at Mania. See, WWE ruins everything. You wasted it on a SmackDown that nobody watches.
I can't do this.
I'm like, yeah. Other than that, I mean, what else? Obviously, no mention of Ray and Dom, dude. Fucking, yeah. Another great storyline. Probably rivaling the Bloodline storyline right now. The fucking the promo that Ray cut on Dom was fucking amazing. Dom's just getting better, dude. I mean, the match that match might happen too. That's another thing. That's another match that might get added, and that could easily main event a Mania either night too. But yeah, can't forget about that. That was awesome. It was so good.
Definitely one of the better stories that they've been telling over the last few months now. Yeah. Over the last year, really.
Yeah.
Is this whole Dom and Ray thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so good.
It's just been great. And they took their time with it. And by took their time, I mean literally just kept them separate for a while, which did them wonders in building up the story.
I think so before I go on to the next part, I think they make the match happen before Mania, like right before.
Yeah.
I think it's at the Hall of Fame. He's doing his speech or whatever. He comes out and the fucking Dominic challenges him at the Hall of Fame. I think it's
okay.
I think it happens during then.
You think it happens during that?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have just thought that they confirm it on like this Friday, but I kind of like. I thought it was going to be like I would love if the final shot. They would. I don't know if they would do this, but if they did. If they end the Hall of Fame with the final shot being Dom standing over Ray in the ring, holding Ray's mask at the Hall of Fame.
That'd be sick.
Are you joking me?
That'd be hot. But then I totally forgot that the family's going to be there at SmackDown this week. So, like, his mom and I'm not sure if his sister is going to be there, but yeah, because remember I think he said next week. Well, last week he said next week I'll just do it in front of our family or something like that. I'll ask unless he meant it was a Hall of Fame. I'd totally forget, but I think it's SmackDown. I think she's going to be there or some shit, and he's going to do something.
Is it going to be just the wife and the daughter?
I think so.
Okay,
that'd be better at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, it would be so good at the Hall of Fame, and Ray would do that.
Yeah, because
he's the type of, I mean, at least from what I know Ray to be, he would kind of take that back seat for his son.
They could do a backstage thing. They could be like Conan, because Conan I think is inducting him, and then Ray can come out give his speech, and as he's walking back, they can like cut to the cameras. If they don't want to do it on stage and kind of ruin that moment, they can always have Dom like waiting in the back.
Nah, fuck that. It's gotta be let Ray do a speech. Let him do a speech. Do the little wave thing, whatever. He gets out of the ring. He's walking up the ramp. He does one little, thank you, and Dom just runs up and boom, right in the back of the head, and rips his mask off and holds up his mask. And that's the final shot of the Hall of Fame. That's set up a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, if they do that same setup they did last year where everyone was on the stage, like all the wrestlers are on the stage, and then they had the SmackDown crowd still there, that's probably going to happen. If they have that same setup.
Yeah, it would be a little it would be tough to do that. Like have Dom come out. I mean, not really. You would just have all the wrestlers kind of just like
that's what I mean. That because I think they had them seated on this on the ramp of the stage, right? Like everyone that was like all the wrestlers in attendance, and then I think they had like the regular the people that were there already there for SmackDown just stay for the Hall of Fame,
right?
And they removed the ropes and made it a stage and all that stuff, so they could technically still do it.
Yeah, they could.
There's no one around. Like it looks like just like a regular SmackDown episode. And the ring is still there. They can still do some shit there, dude.
It's true.
Then maybe you can beat up Conan
I want
too.
to see that. So
they'll probably knock out Conan. That'd be sick, dude. If you want to get Dom over and hit him as much hate as he has now, have him fucking knock out Conan and Ray.
And Disco. Knock out
Disco. Disco.
I would love to hear them talk about that on the podcast.
Oh my god, dude. Other than that, Rhea and Charlotte, their segment was pretty sick. That brawl that they had
It's how
looked
you
pretty
build up to
looked
a
pretty
Mania.
real.
Yeah.
I mean, might have been a little bit little shoot stuff going on there, but yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. Charlotte always has a little shoot. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can never tell. She's like Bret Hart, dude. Like everything that Bret Hart did, you like go back and watch this. You never knew it was a shoot or if it was a work. Like people still guess until this day.
I saw it back in my chair. I said, "Are we shooting? We working here."
But Bret Hart was like that guy that respected people that respected wrestling. It's like if you hear Stone Cold talk about Bret Hart, like he's like, oh yeah, he's like, he's always great with me. We're in the ring, took care of each other. He's like, he always says that he owes a lot of his, popularity and his what he is now to Bret Hart.
Yeah,
he's like all the people back in the locker room. He's like he's the one that he seeked me out. He said, I want to work with him, with Steve Austin, which is, he must have seen his work. Obviously, WCW, he was a technician back then. But other than that, let's move on.
Oh,
Monday Night Raw.
Let's move on to
It's almost as bad as Raw.
Monday Night Raw. You want to get into it, so I'll let you take the floor.
So should we? Well, do you want you talk about the Usos?
Just talk about what you want to talk about.
So Uso, obviously, we knew this was going to happen.
Go ahead.
We do, but here's the thing: they really didn't dwell on this yet, but they kind of made the match without Roman Reigns' permission. And then that kind of because the Usos are like, yeah, we'll take you on, we'll put our titles up and all this stuff. And normally, that's a tribal chief call. That's not a
True.
It's not an Usos call. You come to me. You want to defend your titles? You come to me. That type of thing. So, and then obviously we seen the backstage segment with Jay and Roman, and that was kind of awkward. And that also leads me to my prediction for WrestleMania, which it's kind of they did some things on Raw to kind of unfold and kind of prepare you for something that you're not expecting.
Oh, I can't wait for these predictions. Because I'm nervous, but I think I got it.
But let's just get to the juicy part.
Yeah.
We talked about a couple weeks back, John Cena, him cooking, fucking Austin Theory. Roman Reigns pretty much did the same thing to Cody on Monday. Luckily, Cody came back in Cody fashion, not in the way where, he wasn't supposed to trump anything that Roman Reigns said. Like Roman Reigns is a heel. Roman Reigns had great points during his promo, so you don't want to kill that. He just did enough.
Stardust, and you ran away.
that like Cody did it perfect. He came back at him, but not enough where the crowd was just like, oh, like totally behind Cody. Just gave him a scenario, like, I'm going to throw this at you. Like, all right, you threw this at me? Yeah, you're right. I did run away, blah, blah, blah. You're right. He was like, I went up to that. Cody fashion. And then, he hits him with those points. But when he's like, no, you're not. You're not going to do anything. Someone actually pointed this out with Roman. It's weird. When he's serious, he has more of a deeper voice. Like when he's serious, Roman, he's like, his voice is a different octave than he is when he's like cutting a promo on somebody. And no, you're not. You're not gonna do anything. He's like, what you gonna do is blah. And then when he's talking to Jay, he's like, Jay, where are you, Jay? I haven't seen you, Jay.
That's so true.
It's weird, right? And it's like almost like when he's doing those promos against somebody, it's almost like he's annoyed that he's even speaking to these people. That's what it seems like. Like his time is his time. And when he's doing those, like the Cody Rhodes promo, he doesn't want to deal with it. He's nothing. He's going to lose. This guy's, this guy's nothing.
This is me getting into my, storytelling part of my brain. But you can even kind of interpret that now that the gears are turning as like when Roman is using that voice, like that deeper octave,
Yeah,
it's like he's usually doing that backstage when he's talking like directly to the Usos or Sami or whoever it may be. When he's doing that high pitch type of voice, he's out doing it for the crowd. So like,
yeah, that's true.
could it be something where it's like the true Roman Reigns is the guy that's like, with that deep voice, like talking directly, like serious, and the Roman Reigns that he presents himself as when he's out in the crowd is a lot more like sarcastic, as if to say like, I'm the tribal chief. I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But really on the inside, he's really trying to control his kingdom, as much as he can, but he knows that it's kind of slipping away from him. So he gets that serious voice. There's a lot of freaking details in this fucking story, man.
Yeah, if you think about it too, it's like, like in the back, he's business, all business.
Exactly.
So when he's in the ring, he has to, do, like you said, do like kind of like the Roman Reigns, like, I'm not entertaining this. You guys, this is nothing to me. Like, you're not going to win. You say you're on April 2nd on April. No, that's not going to happen the way he said it.
It's like when a big company, like, when they present themselves to the public and they're like, if there's something that's going on and they're trying to like make it seem like it's not an issue, they're just like, we're going to like, when a company like puts out a political statement, about the state of their company, and it's just like everything is fine, everything.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You have no worries. You have no reason to be worried. You just need to know that we're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. That's kind of Roman, like presenting himself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's like, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, I'm going to win.
Trying to present that to the crowd. But when he's backstage, that's when the business happens. And he's like, I am the tribal chief, but you are part of the reason why. Like, you need to stay on your game to make sure that I'm still the tribal chief. If you don't do your part, I can't provide for the family. Stuff like that.
Yep.
Roman's character is insane. Like, people aren't okay. Look, people are going to make college courses
on the psychology
about this. You could write. Someone needs to do it, and if no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it.
The manipulation.
Someone needs to write a book about this entire story.
I mean,
it's insane. It's insane.
From the beginning, the psychology of it all, the manipulation,
I know the tavern people are going to be fed brain, whatever they say.
I mean,
fed brain.
TK has fed brain. You see the ropes last night on AEW Dynamite? Come on.
I like those ropes a lot.
You do, because they're in your DNA.
I know people are going to say, fed brain, this, that, and the other thing. I want you to go and watch WWE's YouTube page posted. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
The full Bloodline.
And that's
movie.
Another reason why my prediction is going to be kind of crazy, because they made it a movie. They this is, if you want to watch the Bloodline storyline, this is it. Nothing else after that.
I don't know about that, because there's some details even going on right now that weren't involved in that quote-unquote story.
Well, yeah, as far as I think I kind of said it, the Sami Zayn arc of the storyline that's where they kind of ended it.
I think so. I think there was a moment that they added when Jay is like talking about why he kicked Sami. That's where they ended it. So I wouldn't read too much into that. They normally do those type of things where they post on the YouTube.
I mean, it's 2 hours. It's literally a movie.
Right. It's exactly.
Playlist. It's like a little legit.
But it's still not over, which is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of story. Even in these last 2 weeks, they didn't include that in the video. I don't know. All I'm saying is, when this is officially done and over, and when that day comes, I'm sure we'll be aware of it. When this is all said and done, this character of Roman, this overall story of the bloodline is going to go down as one of the greatest psychological characters of all time, one of the greatest detailed characters of all time. I mean, many of the greatest characters in wrestling are very straightforward. Redneck, Dead Man, The Rock. Like, it's very
people's champ, yeah.
right, people's champ. It's very just straightforward. With Roman, it's not as concrete. There's a lot more that goes into his character, which I think that's what makes him so good.
There's that, and then obviously with Cody's kind of the same too. He started to show a little bit where, he tries to be the nice guy, like the clean cut, like, you're right. But then there's instances where he just fucking flips out, like he did on Raw. When he was talking about he was like, if I hear my father one more time, I mean, he's trying to be, calm. And then as soon as that came up, he lost it. And then he flipped out on Solo.
Ooh, I've got such a prediction. I'm not gonna say it here.
No, I mean, I think I pretty much have the same prediction. If it has anything to do with Solo, it's kind of what I said already last. I mean, I'll say it. I mean, he's that one that's silent. He's the one that hasn't said anything during this whole thing. Watching Roman kind of manipulate everybody in the bloodline to do their bidding.
I haven't bought into that prediction, honestly. That's the one that I'm like, meh. Because they even did it tonight. Sorry, not tonight. They even did it on Raw that Roman held Solo back.
Well, did you see the fan video that popped up of them walking back? And he's just fucking. They're walking together, Roman and Solo. Roman has his head down, and Roman's like just fucking yelling like a father yelling at his fucking kid about something. Just like dogging, like just fucking really yelling at him. Like giving
Roman
him
was yelling at Solo?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a fan video.
Right. I just feel like that proves that the whole Solo is the odd man out type thing. I think we'll get to that point eventually. Kind of a little bit of a spoiler for my
dude, it's Jay, dude. That's who.
No, it's always going to be Jay.
No, it's not even that. It's Jay is I kind of seen it on Monday. I'm not saying he's taking over the bloodline, but he's planning something. He's way too cocky. He walks away from the bloodline, doesn't answer to anything that Roman's calling him, texting him, blah blah blah. Doesn't give a shit about Roman right now. Doesn't even care, and that speaks volumes to me for some odd reason. I just think he's planning a coup or something, some fucking not overthrowing the bloodline, but he's planning something, dude. He still didn't apologize. And when Roman was like, I love you, and he just fucking got up and walked away, he didn't say I love you back. If you missed that little tidbit, he just looked at him and got up and left. I don't know, man. Jay's planning something, dude.
When we get that Roman versus Jay match, and there's a 10-minute hype video for it.
You're gonna see all these things that you miss, and people go, "Oh my god, I missed that! Oh my god! Oh shit, he did this! Oh shit, he did this! Oh fuck, I forgot Jay did this." I'm telling you, I don't know. He's planning something. He's definitely planning some fucking shit.
My prediction is going to be fun next week.
Yeah, but obviously great promo. It was. They hyped me up, man. They did their job. I know a lot of people are kind of down on it, but now it's just no, this is gonna be fucking crazy.
Well, let's get into just the final segment since we're cutting it close. I want to allow Honor Society to get on in a bit, but let's just answer the question:
Who won the week?
Raw or SmackDown? Who won the week, Marco?
I'm gonna go with Raw.
Okay.
Just because of that promo, dude. Just because of the end of Raw. I mean, the rest of Raw was pretty decent, but man, and there were some cool moments on SmackDown. But actually, you know what? Damn, SmackDown had more good moments. So
this is a tough one this week.
Shit. No, I'm gonna go with Raw just because of that. That exchange is fucking perfect. Dude. Everyone was waiting for the Stardust shit, and it finally came, and everyone rejoiced. You created another company. You couldn't get over that one, so you ran away. Dude. So
I'm also going Raw. This was a good episode. Not just the Bloodline stuff, but good matches this week too. Chad versus Ricochet.
Yep, Chad versus Ricochet was
Big
good.
fan of that match. Theory and Montez was
fuck, match of the week for me. Because
I don't know if I'll go that far.
It was good. It was a good match, dude.
For me, Chad and Ricochet was no, you want to know what match of the week was? NXT. Ilya Dragunov.
Oh my god.
JD McDonough.
Yes. Jeez. Yeah, they beat the shit out of each other, dude. Yeah, that's Brit. I mean, if you want to watch like some, I'm not gonna say British strong style because they're not both British. If you just want to see some strong style match, watch that. Yeah, that's definitely bad. I mean,
Ilya's selling is on point. It was
that,
insane.
and obviously, if you want to go AEW, you can go fucking Viking versus Kenny Omega for match of the week as well. If you want to throw that in the hat with all those crazy flippity doodads he was doing, which were pretty awesome.
It was a good match.
But yeah,
little things I didn't like, but you know, I can't say those obviously, or else I'll be kicked out of the.
We'll be exiled. We'll be exiled from the tavern.
Yeah,
we'll say it off
match though. I gave it 4 stars. That's what I gave it. I'll give you a little teaser for the Titantron.
Nice.
4 stars.
It was deserved. I mean,
fair 4 stars though.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, why not 5?
I mean, knowing you have your reasons. There'll probably be good reasons, and people will agree.
God willing, there'll be good reasons. But with all that out of the way,
Hey, yo.
it's time to end the show. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Raw Down. Marco, let me know what you got going on.
Nothing much. I mean, we have obviously we're on hiatus this week. Sheena and Seth had a loss of the family today. One of their pups they had to not today, but one of their pups they had to put down.
Yes.
So they're taking some grieving. So yeah, we'll probably be back next week for our WrestleMania preview, as well as, I don't want to say it, but me and Seth are we're gonna drop a pilot episode of a new show we're doing. I don't want to say what it is. I don't want to give it away. But yeah, me and Seth, we're gonna drop something new, a new show on the Chick Foley feed, and I think people will enjoy it. It's pretty out there. I'm not sure if we'll get away with the topic that we're doing because it gets a little crazy. I'll give you a hint. It does have some Attitude Era play into it. So obviously that stuff is not good to talk about nowadays. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way. But yeah, look out for a Chick Foley show next week, and then a new show with myself and Seth.
Guys are turning into the Turnbuckle Tavern with all these shows. Look at you.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like I'm Soldier Boy. He copied my whole flow. The word bar for bar.
The first to do multiple podcasts.
We're the first to ever have multiple shows on one channel. And I'm standing by that. All right. And for me, new episode of the Titan. Well, first episode of the Titantron is getting posted. I'm gonna aim for tomorrow. If it's not, then it's going to be Saturday. But myself, some co-hosts, you'll get to learn them this week. We do our star ratings for some of the better matches on the week. And we also, which will be fun, we give our WrestleMania 39 dream matches. If we had the pen, what type of matches would we book given the type of card that we were given this year? All that and much more on the new Titantron. But until then, folks, if you like what you heard, and I know that you did, make sure that you tune into, I always say this, tune into the Titantron.com. Just turn on the Titantron.com. Listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube for the videos, and Twitch for the live streams. Join our Discord. Follow us on social media. get anywhere you need to go to follow us and join our community. Go on Teespring. Kind of switching up the order now. Teespring over at the turnbuckletavern.com for your stickers and your mugs. ProWrestlingTees.com/tavern for the official tavern shirts. Young Anthony, Boney Shivani, everyone's got a shirt. MVP Marco has a shirt. And finally, call the Tavern 304-404-2004 is number to call it here. You actually played on the flagship show. Call the Tavern, leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you think of the Raw Down. Haven't gotten a few phone calls in a while, so make sure to leave your phone number. No, sorry. Leave your phone message. Just call us. 304-404-2004 is the number to call. 304-404-2004. Butchered that whole outro, but it is what it is. Folks, next week, big episode. WrestleMania preview and prediction show.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. See you next week. But until then...
Life sucks, and then you die.